Hey everyone, welcome back to another one of my videos. As requested by a few people, I'll be breaking down some of the Ghoti Spright combos I frequently use. All the combos shown in this video are done with this deck list. The deck has two 1-card combos and several 2-card combos. We're going to be starting off with the 1-cards. The first one is going to be just one lifeless leaf fish. So with leaf fish, you're going to want to start off by normal summoning and using its effect to send Angler. Then Angler is going to trigger, and we're going to special 2 sunfish. Then we're going to use those 2 sunfish to make a gigantic Spright. This is an important thing to note. This is our 4th summon, so they cannot nib us here. So we're going to activate gigantic effect. We're going to pitch one of the sunfish. We're going to special blue. Blue's going to grab us a jet. And then jet's going to summon and grab us a smashers. It's important to know that this doesn't need to be a smashers. This can just be a starter. So we're going to link these two, the jet and the blue, off for a sprint. Sprint is going to send Shift. Shift's going to use its effect, banish, and then it's going to target leaf fish to gain 500. But most importantly, it's just going to banish itself for the next turn. We'll set whatever spell trap we searched off of the jet. And then the next standby phase, Shift comes back. So with this here, you have the sprint interruption, you have the interruption of the set card, either whether it's a smashers or a double cross, and then you have Shift effect live with enough levels to go into your area on post in the main phase. The next combo we have is for Spright starter. So we'll go in the draw phase, we'll use starter. We'll special out blue. Take 11, blue effect, grab the jet. Then in the main phase, special jet, go jet effect, search another spell. We'll add smashers this time. We'll overlay for gigantic effect. This is where it's kind of unintuitive. So we send the Shift here so we can get it in the grave. And then we link these two off for Sprint. Sprint will send Angler. And Angler will special our 2 sunfish. And then we'll use Shift in the grave, banish and target one of the sunfish. And then we'll set the card. So this one isn't like a crazy end board, but it's only if we have starter and no other options. That's really never going to be the case. Starter's most likely going to be an extender if you get interrupted. So this is pretty much a small 1-card combo if you really have no other play. So it'll get the Shift banished for next turn, and the standby phase will come back. And it's basically, if you need to get your Ghoti engine online, this is one way you can do it. Now we'll get into the 2-card combos. The first one will go into Shift plus any level 2 extender. This is also going to give you the same end board as the leaf fish combo, but this one's a little bit safer because the level 2 extender could be, for example, a Spright blue, and then you could add a red or a carrot to potentially stop some disruption. We'll start off by normal summoning the Shift, and then activating Keef to special summon, just as the extender. And then we'll overlay into Gigantic. We use Gigantic effect, and this is pretty important. Detach the Shift for the effect so it gets in the grave. We're then going to special blue. We're going to use blue, add a jet. We're going to special jet. Jet's going to grab us our spell trap. We'll grab smashers. Going to link these two off for Sprint. Sprint's going to send the Angler. Angler's going to trigger and special our 2 sunfish. And then we're going to use Shift, banish, target one of our sunfish, and set the card. So this is going to be the same end board as the leaf fish essentially, but we have 2 level 2 bodies instead of 1 level 4. So the space can get a little bit tight if you have like another Spright in hand to special. But yeah, effectively the same thing, it just uses up an extra zone. If you have crossout in hand and you want to, in the end phase of your first turn, call Paces to get him banished and then come back the next standby phase, just be aware that you're going to need a zone to special summon him to. So if you have like another Spright on board, it might clog that up. The next combo is going to be Spright blue plus any level 2 normal summon. So go to the main, we'll normal summon the level 2, in this case it's a Zip. We'll special blue, we'll go blue, we'll add the jet. We'll special the jet, we'll add our spell trap, we'll add smashers. And we'll overlay the 2 Sprights into Gigantic. It's important to note that if this is a level 2 fish, leave it on the board, so if you get in the scenario where you have a Shift engraved, you can still banish the Shift and target the fish on board so you can get him back. We'll go Gigantic effect here. We'll special the Shift, and then we'll send the Shift and the Zep to grave as link material for Sprind. Sprind's going to send the Angler. Then Angler is going to special 2 Sunfish. Shift, banish target a Sunfish. Then we'll set a card. Next turn, standby phase, Shift comes back. Same end board, just another way to do it if you open a different hand. Now we're going to get into some of the suboptimal combos. So this one we are going to start with just 2 level 2s. So it can be any combination. I'm just using 2 Keef here as an example. So we'll normal summon one of them, special the other. Then we'll overlay for Gigantic. Gigantic effect, we'll special a Shift. We'll send the Shift in Gigantic for Sprind. Sprind send the Angler. And then Angler's effect is going to trigger special our 2 Sunfish. Then Shift is going to target one of the Sunfish and banish itself as cost. And then it's going to come back in the next standby phase. So this is kind of a mid board. This is just to get your Ghoti stuff online. It's important to know though, depending on what you have in hand or what you need to do against your opponent's deck, when you have the Gigantic, you can special the Shift to get the Ghoti stuff online, or you can special blue to set up a classic Sprint Gigantic plus like IP Masquerena Spright board. It just really depends on what deck you're facing or the board state of the game. Because if the board state's pretty minimal, Ghoti can thrive really well with the resource loop that it has. So just keep that in mind. For those of you that don't know the Spright board I just talked about, I'll run through it real quick. Normal summon 2, special our extender, overlay, Gigantic. And instead of special summoning the Shift, we'll special blue. Blue's going to grab our Jet. Jet effect, grab our interruption, link off for Sprind, send Angler, Angler effect, 2 Sunfish. We'll go IP, and we'll set a card. This is just basic stuff here. I am going to experiment with running a Zeraboros, and then we can search a starter, so we can IP into potentially Zeraboros, and then we can starter to a zone that it points to get another board banish. In this deck list, I'm not running that, so this is the best we can do. The next combo is going to be Leaf Fish plus an extender. In this case, we have Keef, so it's a level 2 extender that can be special if you just have your Leaf Fish on board, unlike the Spright cards, which need a level 2. So this is going to be in the event that our Leaf Fish gets interrupted. We'll use its effect. Say it gets ashed or impermed, veilered, whatever. That's fine. It doesn't go through. We'll Keef. We'll special summon. Then we link these 2 off for a Sprind right away. We'll go Sprind, send the Angler. Angler's going to trigger, getting us our Sunfish. Then we can overlay the Sprind plus the Sunfish for Gigantic. Gigantic's going to summon our Shift. We can link these 2 off for an IP, and then we can go Leaf Fish, target our 3 fish, shuffle them back, and draw. Here I have 2 more examples of how that hand can be played, given what the rest of your hand is or who you're playing against. So, normal summon Leaf Fish, negated, Keef effect, a special, link for Sprind. Sprind effect, we'll dump the Angler. Angler will special 2 Sunfish. We'll overlay for Gigantic. Gigantic effect. Send the Sunfish. We'll send that. We'll link the Shift in the Gigantic this time for an IP. Shift can banish, target the Sunfish to get it banished, and then Leaf Fish can shuffle 3 back and give you a potential draw. That's one way. Another way, let's get this turn started. We have Leaf Fish, negated, Keef, special, link off for Sprind, Sprind send Angler, Angler special our Sunfish. We'll overlay the 2 Sunfish this time for Gigantic. And now we'll get our Spright board online. So we'll special blue, we'll blue add Jet, Jet special, add the Smashers, and then link off for IP. And we still have 3 fish in grave, so we can use Leaf Fish, banish, target them, all 3, shuffle back, and then draw a card. Last but not least is going to be our Nimble Angler Brick combo. So this is absolutely the worst case scenario, opening your angler. That's why I'm over 40 to help bury the brick a little bit more, but it still will happen. It is Yu-Gi-Oh! So we'll start off by normal summoning our angler and specialing our blue. Blue's going to grab us our jet here. And then jet, very importantly, is going to grab our starter. We actually need to grab starter and not an interruption with this one. So we're going to overlay our 2 sprites into Gigantic. Gigantic is going to pitch jet and special Paces. So this is actually pretty important. Paces is going to get specialed over something like Shift. Because our angler is already on the field, there's no other send target for our sprint other than Shift. So specialing out Paces just gets another one of our Ghoti tuners in rotation. We'll link these two off, Paces and Gigantic, for the sprint. And like I said, sprint is going to send our Shift. Shift's going to target the angler, give it 500 banish, and now this is where the crucial starter comes in. We're going to starter for another body. In this case, it'll be red. That way, in the standby phase, Shift comes back, and then we have 6 levels on board, plus the interruption from red on the opponent's turn. In most case scenarios, I'd consider going carrot over red. Spells are pretty good right now, and an imperm in your opponent's standby phase can kind of end the goading line most of the times, and so having the carrot there as extra insulation against that really helps. Well, there you have it. Those are the combos that I use in the deck. If you guys want to let me know anything, be sure to write in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.